This pasta is creamy, quick, and absolutely delicious. So let's make some radicchio with speck. So with this recipe, we're gonna go all the way up to the region of Alto Adige, where they make the most amazing speck. Speck is gonna be at the center of this recipe, and it's somewhat similar to prosciutto. It's cured, but it's also smoked. So it's got this rich umami flavor and a smokiness, and absolutely fantastic. And with the recipe, we're gonna be using some red chicory, radicchio, or red lettuce, depending on where you are, they call it in different ways. And then we're gonna have onion, garlic, a little bit of fresh cream, some extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna be using Olistico Black Label because we're gonna be cooking with it. So this is high quality extra virgin olive oil designed for cooking your meals. Of course, it can be used for ending, but we're gonna be using it for cooking.
And it's from our farm.
And it is from our farm. And the pasta we're gonna be using is fusilli, which for this recipe is absolutely fantastic.
It's amazing.
So with the speck, we need to cut it into little strips. Of course, you can use your knife. I have a slicer and I wanted to use it, so let's do it. 2 people, so a couple of slices will be plenty. And this is the thickness we want to have it. So here, this is the skin, so we're gonna remove this. So this doesn't render down, so we wanna cut it off. Cut this in half, along the longer side, and into cubes. Or as we say in Italy, into listarelle. And speck is absolutely delicious, and it's also a great appetizer. In which case you cut thin slices. Last 2 slices, if anybody wants to come and eat them.
Me.
Okay. Yeah, you can have some. All right, come on guys, focus.
Yum, yum, yum.
So the radicchio, slice in half. And we cut it nice and thin. When you get to the bottom, this bit is hard, so we're not going to use it. We're cooking for 2 people, so 1 large radicchio should be fine. Perfect. Last thing to prep, we're going to have half an onion. Okay, so trick from Isabella. Paper on the side, wet. Apparently, you're not going to cry. Let's try this out. And when you cook, super useful, little bowl, and you put all the bits that you want to throw away, so you keep your workstation tidy. Now, let's see if Isabella's trick of the wet towel works. Are we crying? Looks like it works. All right, next step, pan, extra virgin olive oil at the bottom.
The one that we made in our farm.
In here we add olive oil, unlike guanciale, because this is way more lean, so you need some extra fat. Medium heat, mix it together. 1 clove of garlic in camicia. In camicia means that we're just gonna squash it, but we're gonna leave it with the skin on, because we're gonna remove it, and we want just a delicate flavor of garlic going in. Thanks, Amy.
Time to put it on fry.
And when it's nice and crunchy, it's time to remove it. Now we add the onion, and you take this opportunity, this extra liquid, to scrape all the brown bits, which are absolutely delicious. If you have a glass of white wine, by all means, you can also put a little bit of white wine at this point. All right, after a couple of minutes, until the onions are softened, we add the radicchio. One of the reasons why I love radicchio is because è un pochino amaro, it's a little bit bitter, and that flavor is super interesting. But at the same time, when it gets too bitter, then you cross the line. So radicchio, you need to cook it until it changes color, and I'll show you in a second. But once it changes color, you switch it off, because if you overcook it, you're gonna accentuate the bitterness. Add just a little bit of water, a little bit of salt. Now is a good time to take away the garlic. It's done its job.
Bye-bye, garlic.
And now that you have this brownish darkened color, that means the radicchio is ready, and it's time to add
Turn it off straight away.
our cream.
That looks like milk.
It does, but it's cream, fresh cream. And we just let it become a little bit more dense. Takes a minute.
Down.
Not dance, dense. Come si dice? Più densa. And now we let this go for a couple of minutes. And now that it tightened, we switch it off. And with the pasta in a rolling boil, salt, and the fusilli. This pasta takes 8 minutes to cook, so we're gonna do the usual technique of cooking for about 6 minutes here, and then finishing it off in the pan with cooking water just to add that extra emulsion which is created with the starch of the water and the fats from the sauce, which comes from obviously the cream and the oil, and just makes it creamy and absolutely delicious. Fusilli go in, taking some pasta water with me. If you follow the channel, you know this is how we finish most of our pastas. If you don't follow the channel, please do. We do easy Italian regional recipes, and following the channel, putting a like, putting a comment really helps in getting the videos out there on YouTube. The algorithm will push them and will just really help the channel to grow, so that would be much appreciated. We add oxygen by letting the pasta jump. This helps the emulsion, the oxygenation. At the end of the day, the emulsion is adding oxygen to our fats and our starch. We add some of our speck. I mean, I can't even wait to plate it. I'm gonna try this straight away. Take some radicchio, take a little bit of speck. Okay. This dish works perfectly for a variety of reasons. First of all, il radicchio is tangy, it's a little bit bitter, not too much, fantastic. Then you got the saltiness and the crunch from the speck, which by the way is also a little bit smoky, so it adds a little bit of extra complexity. Then you got the cream, which combines everything together and adds a little bit of fattiness and softness to this dish. This is absolutely amazing. Now, this is not something we would add Parmigiano on, because when you have cream, you don't have Parmigiano, but when you do you, these are just ideas that I'm giving you guys, then you do whatever makes sense to you. Buon appetito.